Yo, what's good YouTube? So today I'm going to be talking about my top 25 NBA players under 25 years old tier list. But before we get to that though, let me go on and give you a little bit of backstory as to how this video idea was created. Okay, so here's what happened. I was scrolling through my Twitter timeline the other day and I noticed that NBA Twitter's most infamous brand, Bleacher Report, had recently put out an article over their top 25 players under 25. So suddenly I caught myself clicking out of the Twitter app and into that post. And let's just say that it only took me about a few seconds of scrolling for me to just completely regret ever leaving the Twitter app in the first place into checking out this bum ass list. But then I thought to myself, how do I capitalize on this terrible situation that I created for myself? So that's how this video idea was born. I can create my own top 25 players under 25 years old list while criticizing Bleacher Report's list. Say less, man, say less. Alright man, so I'm currently at the tier list maker website, and as you can see, I actually created this one. I wasn't just going off of somebody else's, because nobody actually had all of the players listed out and everything how I wanted it. So this is literally the list that Bleacher Report had. They had Luka at 1, Zion at 2, Tatum at 3, Miles Turner at 25, literally just like that. So what I'm gonna do is I have to redo these tiers. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it real quick. Alright, so as you can see, we are now good. I actually added another tier as well. There was only 5 for some reason. I think this is like the original template that I had, but I ended up changing it into 6 because there's just so many players that I don't want to classify everybody as the same when they are really in different tiers. So let's go on and get to it. First off, we're going to go on and start out with Miles Turner. I think that he's a tier 5 player, and there's really nothing to base that off of because we don't have any of the other players here just yet. Lonzo Ball, I think he's on the same tier as Miles Turner as well. MPJ, bro, MPJ is actually a tier 6 player for me, and I have no idea why Bleacher Report even put him on the list. Now I know that they did take into account a lot of potential when it comes to their list, but personally I'm not doing that at all. So Michael Porter Jr., he does have the potential to be one of the best. I'm not even gonna lie, he really truly does. But right now in 2020, which is what I'm basing this list off of, he's just not that. So we're gonna leave him at his own tier at number 6. And then Sabonis, I have him at the tier 3 spot. Like I said, when I get more players filled in, I'll go ahead and explain what each one means. But Jonathan Isaac, I was really torn between tier 6 or 5 for him, but I am going to put him at tier 5 because I don't really think that the injury that he had earlier this season should really define his season for him, because he was having an amazing season prior to that, and I think he was worth of being a tier 5 player. But then we have Jamal Murray, and I actually think that he's a tier 4 player. I think he's better than everybody at tier 5 and 6, but not better than Sabonis, who was an all-star this year. Now he is very great for the impact of the Denver Nuggets winning, obviously, but like I said, I just don't really view him as a Sabonis type player who's literally an all-star. So yeah, and then John Collins, he was really tough for me to decide, man, but ultimately I think I'm going to go in and put him at tier 4 as well, and my reasoning for that is because he doesn't really impact the team's record all that much as far as winning, or as from what he's shown as a in his first 3 years in the NBA, he hasn't really shown that he can truly win in the NBA just yet. But he has an amazing stat line, so that counts for something, and I think he's a tier 4 player in my opinion. As far as Porzingis, man, I think he's a tier 3 player, just at the side of Sabonis. And I think the Bleacher Report article really underrated Porzingis and Sabonis as well. But man, Porzingis, bro, he was pretty low. I'm not even gonna lie, he was pretty low. So was Sabonis, but I'm just saying, like, this guy was literally an all-star in New York, and I get it, he didn't really play all that well this year, but towards the end of this year's stretch, of games, he was playing amazing for the Mavericks. So I think that counts for something. He's the secondary option on a great NBA team who's going to be great for years to come. And yeah, I just think he's better than everybody below him. So that's my reasoning right there. And as far as DeAndre Ayton, I'm actually going to put him at the tier 5 player list, or whatever you want to call it, right next to Miles and Jonathan Isaac, his fellow big man right there. Well, Jonathan Isaac is kind of a wing, but that's neither here nor there. But anyways, DeAndre Ayton, I think he's worth of being right here. Now, realistically, he has the stat line to be right here. But like I said, man, impact of winning really does go a long way for me. So I think he's a tier 5 player right now until he proves to be a winning player. So D'Lo was also very tough for me. He's really between tier 3 and 4 because he has kind of fell off of that all-star player that he was last year. But then again, he had a better season this year. But the thing about that is that he just had no great teammates or anything to win. And don't bring up Karl Anthony Towns because he barely played with him at all, and he was injured for a lot of those games as well. So yeah, man, Cat was really it, and he only played like 5 or so games with him this season. So yeah, D'Lo is a tier 3 player for me. He proved himself in Brooklyn, and when he went to Golden State, he technically had better numbers, but he just wasn't impacting their winning, which isn't really his fault because their team was terrible. But that's just my reasoning right there. I think he's a tier 3 player, just barely, because he's an all-star caliber player. And then Jaren Jackson Jr., I think he's also tier 5. Now, this is very arguable. You know, I had a whole video about Jaren Jackson Jr. Make sure you go ahead and check that out. It was also about John Morant. But yeah, I do think that he's a tier 5 player right now just because he doesn't really stay in the court that much to impact the team. Now, the time that he does spend there, he's amazing. But he just gets into way too much foul trouble, and he doesn't really rebound all that well either. So just that being his big flaws in his game, I think that is still worth of being a tier 5 player. But like I said, he could technically be a tier 4 maybe. But yeah, that's really it right there. As far as Bam, now Bam, I'm actually going to put him at tier 2. And this is kind of ironic because I literally tweeted just yesterday, as of recording this, that I think Bam is the most overrated player. Or not the most overrated, but he's getting very much overrated by NBA Twitter at the moment. But it is what it is. I still think that he's better than everybody below him. I think he's just that great defensively. And I think just his impact on winning as well is enormous, honestly. So I'm going to put him at that tier 2 spot. Technically, he could be tier 3, but I'm just going to leave him there. I think it's fair. So yeah. De'Aaron Fox, I'm actually going to put him at the tier 4 spot. I think he's similar to Jamal Murray, as in like he's a great option on a team. He's improved every single year that he's been in the NBA, and I think he'll continue to do that for the Kings and hopefully get them back in the playoffs. So yeah. Jaylen Brown, man. Jaylen Brown is actually tier 3 for me because he had an all-star caliber season this year, but he wasn't an actual all-star, so that fits the tier 3 description perfectly in my opinion. So yeah, Shea, I'm actually going to put him at that tier 4 spot. I think he's pretty similar to Jamal Murray, not in their play style in any way, but just the impact that he has on his team and winning. And I know I keep bringing this up a lot, but I think he's better than Jamal Murray defensively, maybe not offensively just yet, but I think that is pretty good as far as like the spot for him. As far as BI, man, I gotta go with tier 2 as well. See, the thing that I was originally struggling with is I was honestly going to put Bam at 3 and then have BI be at 2 and start off that tier. But I think that they are actually in the same tier. That's why I had to kind of bring Bam up. But yeah, I think that's pretty clear right there that BI is worth of being a tier 2 player. And then Devin Booker, he's clearly a tier 2 player. He's better than either one of these guys right here. And by the way, guys, this is not in any type of order. It's really just the tiers alone, no order whatsoever from left to right. So make sure you take that into account. And then Donovan Mitchell, he's clearly in the same level as Devin Booker. Really no need to explain right there. So yeah, Ja Morant, man, Ja Morant, I really don't want to talk bad about him, but just BR's article, he was way too high, man. Like 7th in their article. That's insane for a rookie. It really is. He is probably going to win Rookie of the Year because Zion didn't play enough games to warrant winning. But I think that Ja Morant is a tier 4 player. I'm not even going to, spend too much time on that, but he's just not in the same level as a guy like Devin Booker or even a D'Angelo Russell on the next tier up, or on the next tier below. So yeah, that's just my opinion, man. Ja Morant, you have a great future, but you're just not there just yet, in my opinion. As far as Trae Young, I'm going to put him at that tier 2 spot. He's really controversial because people either really like him or really hate him, just his game actually. But the thing about him is, offensively, he's probably better than everybody on this list that I've listed so far. But defensively, he's probably the worst on here. So with that being said, I still think that his offense just offsets how bad he is defensively, and I'm going to leave him at that tier 2 spot. And then Ben Simmons, man. Ben Simmons, I do think is also tier 2. He's probably, actually, I'm not gonna go into my actual order of things at all. But let's just say that if I was doing left to right, then he would probably be right here. Just saying. Actually, I can't go over Bam, but he would be over Bam. I'm sorry, but yeah, that is it right there. Just his defense alone, just probably the best out of anybody here, if we're really being realistic as of right now in 2020. Yeah, he's probably the best defender out of everybody here. Bam might have something to say about that, but me personally right now, I do think that he is probably the best player defensively on this list. And just his impact on Philly, obviously, in winning, he's done that year in year out. So shout out to Ben. He's definitely one of the best out here in this list. And then Karl Anthony Towns is a pretty simple one for me. I think he's on the same level as Trae Young, where he doesn't really impact winning just that much just yet, but he is one of the best offensive players on here. And as far as defensively, he's very bad, but I do think that he's still warrant of the tier 2 in my opinion. And then Jason Tatum is clearly a tier 2 player. I think him and Ben are probably 2 and 3, and no order to that. You guys can debate that down in the comments if you want. But yeah, I do think that Jason Tatum and Ben Simmons are 2 and 3, no order like I said. But yeah, and then as far as Zion, bro, Zion is the other guy that they just completely overrated, like so much. But yeah, man, Zion Williamson right now is a tier 3 player. I don't care what you have to say, man. This is not about potential. The guy's played 19 games in the NBA. Now, obviously, he was amazing in those 19 games, but I don't think that is worth on anybody here just judging him, as being a tier 2 player, when guys like Devin Booker have worked their entire careers to be that. I don't think it's worth, just putting him right there as of just the 19 games that we've seen of him so far in 2020. But now, as far as potential, I'm not gonna lie, he's probably tier 1. But like I said, no potential right here. It's just the top 25 players under 25 in the league right now. As far as Luka, everybody knows where Luka's gonna be. I saved the tier 1 spot just for him. I don't really have to explain myself right there. He's clearly I was about to say second best player, but he's clearly the number 1 player under 25 years old in the NBA. Like I said, no need to explain myself right there. So yeah, man, that is my tier list right there. I'm not gonna recap it. I think just going off the dome like this is the best way to do it. So yeah, that's it right there. You can screenshot it if you want. You can, you know, argue with me in the comments. Don't make it crazy though. Let's be civil, obviously. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Okay, so that's the end of the video, y'all. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, then make sure to go ahead and leave a like on this video to go ahead and offset the amount of dislikes that I'm gonna get, just because I have a different opinion than the next person when it comes to my list. Also, don't forget to subscribe, obviously, as well, if you haven't already, and turn on those post notifications to get notified whenever I upload a new video. But with all that being said, I'll see all of you on the next video, and peace and love to everybody.